What's up, everybody? Welcome to my blog. Today's topic is going to be about politics. Before I begin, I know a lot of you out there are usually quite bored with this kind of stuff. But I think there should be an exception this time. Most times I would type up my feelings and opinions, but today is somewhat of a special occasion. It marks the final debate between John McCain and Barack Obama. And part of the reason why I'm doing this is because, as many of you know, I'm a Barack Obama supporter, but it's beyond that. It's the times and the things that are going on now. And I want to say that when you think about the 60s and the 70s and all of those times, people were engaged in what's going on in the world. You had Martin Luther King, you had Malcolm X, the whole civil rights movement. You had JFK, the assassination of JFK. You had the Vietnam War. You had all of the music. A lot of it was, politically and socially, conscious of, everything that was going on at that time. When you look at today's standards, most people aren't involved in politics. Most people are bored. And it's been like that for, I'd say, the better part of the last 15, 20 years. And I think that's why we find ourselves in this position now, where people are losing their jobs and gas prices are soaring. We have this ridiculous war that we're in. And I think it's because a lot of people aren't engaged. I think if most of us were engaged and we were paying attention, I think there would be an outcry, as there was in the 60s, for these sort of things to stop. And for some reason, it doesn't exist. But on the brighter side of things, I think a lot more people have become engaged in this election. And I think when we look at, the first 10 years of 2000, the first decade of 2000, we're going to look back and say, especially if Barack Obama is our next president, that we did have that leader, that we did have a movement. And our generation just wasn't, filled with Britney Spears and American Idol and all of this other crap that you see out there. So hopefully you are engaged, and if you're not, I implore you to read the paper, watch the news. It's only I believe it's less than 2 weeks away, November 4th, to where we are going to vote in the next president of the United States. Now, if you've been paying attention, you know about all of the things, the accusations that the Republicans have been putting on Barack Obama. They're trying to separate him and make him look like he's not one of us, like he's not an American, like he's a terrorist or an extremist or an elitist, and all these other things that they're trying to put out on him. And I think it's kind of ridiculous. I honestly believe it's code word for the fact that he's black. And I think they can't say that, obviously, but when you use those words and those innuendos and you're insinuating pretty much, yeah, we can't take the risk with him. And it's funny because early in this race, when Barack Obama was going against Hillary Clinton in the primaries, I knew a lot of people, Democrats included, who were saying, oh, he can't win and America's not ready for a black president. And I used to say, it's more than just him being a black president or a black person. There's a lot more to him, and I think you should pay attention. And I think now people are starting to, because you're starting to see Barack Obama's numbers are climbing in the polls. He beat Hillary Clinton, which was huge. So I think people are becoming more involved and paying attention, and I think that's a great thing. But back to the Republican Party, and what I'm about to say, it might offend some people, but I honestly do believe that the Republican Party is definitely on the wrong side of the issues. I'll give an example. Barack Obama, I've been supporting him since he started 2 years ago. In fact, I've been following him and paying attention to anything with him since 2004. He had this speech at John Kerry's Democratic convention. And ever since then, I saw him, and I think, this is a guy who really understands America and the issues and the things that we're going through. And he's been warning now for several years of, the financial calamity that we're pretty much up against. And it's starting to happen. And it's hitting home for me because I used to work at a small business, pretty much right there on becoming a big business as far as franchise is concerned. But now because of the economy, they're laying off people. And I'm sure many of you are going through that, or in fear that, you may be laid off at your job. I was one of the victims of the layoff, so to speak. But I'm not going to get into that now. But the whole point is the owner of the business that I was working for, he's a millionaire or billionaire. He's totally loaded. And from what I understand, I overheard him having a conversation, and obviously he's a John McCain supporter. The irony in that is that if he's supporting John McCain, the likelihood is that he was supporting George Bush, and his now business is going down the toilet. But after the business goes down the drain, he's still a millionaire. He's still well off. The people who suffer are the people who are working for him. The middle class, people like you and I, we're the ones that got laid off. And I think for someone who's going to support John McCain, either you're on that side of the fence, or you're uninformed and you're just picking up some soundbite that Barack Obama is a terrorist or a Muslim. Not that being a Muslim should matter. Or you're a racist and you're buying into those code words. And I think John McCain's campaign has fed into a lot of that, putting out ads that Obama is associated with terrorists and all of these things. And the funny thing about that is that John McCain now has to go ahead and denounce that, as some of you may have paid attention to, because a lot of the people, his supporters, when John McCain is having his rallies, they're yelling anytime Obama's name is mentioned, kill him, or terrorists. They were even antagonizing a cameraman at one of the rallies who just happened to be black, and that's the sort of thing that still exists in this country. And I think most of us are decent people, and I believe that Obama will win this election, but you have to be engaged. We have to be engaged and paying attention to the things that are going on. I think if we do that, I honestly believe that Barack will be the next president of the United States, and we will see change, and we will start seeing jobs come back. We'll see the gas prices go down. We'll all be covered as far as health insurance is concerned. I believe middle class and the poor will, I think we'll all start to benefit in a lot of great ways. I think education will improve, and I think a lot of the racism and gay rights and all of these things, I think he'll be able to help fix that. I mean, it'll never totally go away, but I believe that it'll be a major milestone for America if we elect Barack Obama, not just because he's black, but just because of what he represents. John McCain, I think he's out of touch, and I think if you're voting for John McCain and you're not paying attention, I think you should pay more attention. And if you're voting for John McCain and you're paying a lot of attention, and I think there's something wrong with you. And that's my honest opinion, and I do look forward to your responses. Anybody out there, whether you agree with me or not, I think this is an important thing, and I think this represents that big defining moment within our generation. And I think all of us should definitely be involved. I think if you have children, or anybody you love, or if your sister or your siblings or your friends have children and you care about them, I think you should be involved and not just say that you're bored or whatever. And I know for some of us it's too late, because I believe that it's too late to register to vote at this time, but I think that being engaged and passing along the message and the word, I think, will help get a lot of us out there. And if You're gonna vote. Bring your friends, bring your family, talk about it, and let's get this going. We only have a couple of more weeks left, and I think we're gonna make history. Anyway, look forward to your comments. Thank you.